Hey there, it's Diane Forster, and welcome to I Have Today, the show that inspires, educates, and empowers you through life's transitions. And each week on this show, I bring on the coolest, most amazing, awesome CEOs, entrepreneurs, experts, authors, and truly life changers who've gone through their own transitions and reinventions in life and have come out on the other side successful. And they come on this show to share their stories with us. And today I am very excited to have my guest, Moira Shepard, on the show. Hey, Moira, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Diane. How are you?
I'm doing super great today, too. I'm so excited about this show, and you guys are going to love this show because we are talking about confidence today, and who couldn't use a little more confidence? So when you hear Moira's story and what she's doing, you are going to want to tap into this woman, follow her, get her book. We're going to talk all about that because she shares a story of going from being bedridden to being healed and helping others. So before we get into her story, let me share with you the theme of the show, which is learn the keys to confidence. So I know in my work, I deal with this too. And Moira, I know you're going to share this too. Confidence is a huge issue for so many people. And they're all seeking ways to improve their level of confidence because it helps in every single area of your life. So we're going to talk about that. So learn the keys to confidence. And our intention statement is, if you are writing it down, I have today to live in my power with confidence because you are the one in the power. And the more confident you are, the more powerful you are, and the better, easier, more flowing your life becomes. Confidence is key. So write that down, let it anchor in. That's your mantra for the week. That's your intention statement. If you follow me on social media, my Instagram page is Diane Forster Official, and we have a tab there with wallpaper. So you can just download all the wallpaper that we put up there. This one will be loaded by the time this episode airs. So you can use this to boost your confidence throughout the week, okay? All right, so here we go. So Moira, before we get into your story, I would like to share with the audience a little bit about you. So Moira Shepard, confidence expert, received a calling to heal the world when she had been confined to bed by a back injury for 7 years. The call jump-started her journey back into a productive life and successful career as a writer, healer, radio host, and business owner. Since 2004, she has had the privilege of helping coaches, healers, speakers, and writers to build confidence they need to share their gifts through private and group coaching, webinars, and workshops. Moira's new book is Love Your Way to Success, 5 Keys to Confidence for Creative Women Entrepreneurs, and we're going to talk about that. Very, very excited. So again, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here and sharing yourself with us and with the audience.
It's an honor. I'm delighted. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Wow, I treasure and value your time, and I know it's going to be an enlightening show. So would you mind, tell us the story. What happened to you, for you, all of it?
It all began on the 31st of March, 1997. I had been doing my job. I pitched in by carrying some boxes down to the mailing area, and it was no big deal. Usually carrying 50-pound boxes. I was a total gym rat. I worked out every day for 20 years, so hefting 50 pounds of magazines or whatever was no big deal until that day when it was. I felt this tiny little snick in my spine. That was it. That was all that I felt. And so I continued carrying boxes down until they were all done, since somebody had run off with our handcart. And it wasn't until I was sitting over a Guinness with some friends watching the sunset on Venice Beach that I started noticing I wasn't really feeling very comfortable sitting. So I excused myself and went home and went to bed at 6:30 at night, which was very unlike me. And I woke up at 3:30 in the morning feeling like somebody had taken a steel hammer and was just smashing into my spine. It was throbbing. My spine was on fire. I was in agony, and I wanted to move, to shift my position to see if I could get more comfortable, but I couldn't move.
Wow.
I was paralyzed. It was
wow.
My body was suddenly my cage. It was so frightening. And I had no phone by the bed at that time. So I was really panicking, and I started crying, and I realized very quickly I was going to drown in my own tears if I didn't calm down. So I started breathing, and I noticed that if I moved just a tiny, tiny bit, like inch, that I was able to move. So about 5 hours later, I made it to the living room and called for help. And that got me into my journey with the workers' compensation system. Since the injury had happened on the job, it got me into the journey of Western medicine, surgery. I resisted surgery at first. I really wanted a holistic solution. So they said, okay, we'll send you to physical therapy. I couldn't do a thing. The day before, I had been able to do 120 sit-ups and bench press 100 pounds. And the next day, I couldn't do anything.
Wow.
I couldn't do anything. Wow. It was terrifying. So I gave in to the suggestion for surgery. I ended up having 5 surgeries on my back. They all failed. And about 4 years into this, I was seeing the doctor, and I got the courage to ask a question I wasn't really sure I wanted to know the answer to. I said, so is this going to be my life? 4 walls and seeing you guys once a month? My father drives me to your office. And they said, well, pretty much, yeah. We fused your spine. There's nothing left to do. Surgically, you're at the end of the road.
Wow.
I was in shock. I could hardly speak. My dad drove me home in silence. He could see that I was feeling like if anybody talks to me right now, I'm going to shatter into a million pieces. So he just brought me back to my place and kissed me on the cheek and said, call when you want to talk. And I was left to myself.
So that was how long after you were bedridden?
That was 4 years in. That was around January 2001.
Okay. So you had been suffering all of this time, going through surgeries and doing what you could to heal yourself. So 4 years into it, this is the diagnosis that you get.
This is the diagnosis.
So what did you do next? What empowered you to start, your healing journey for yourself?
A little voice spoke up inside of me and said, well, thank you for sharing your opinion. I did ask, and I'm going to get well now. So I made that decision, or something prompted me to make that decision. It felt like something greater than myself that was kind of announcing this intention that, okay, we're going to go and get well now. So my father found me a hypnotherapist who specialized in chronic pain. In our very first session, he showed me how to control the pain with my mind to such an extent that by the time I got home, I got on the phone with my doctors and said, I want you to give me a taper down program on the narcotic painkillers. Help me get off of them. So within 3 months, I was narcotic free, and my brain started feeling a little more like a brain and a lot less like cotton candy, which was fantastic. I still didn't have a lot of mobility. I could be vertical for maybe 10, 15 minutes a day, which was great because now I could shower and feed myself, which was awesome. And I started getting restless, though, mentally restless, emotionally restless. It's like, okay, now that I can think again, what am I going to do? So I talked with my nurse case manager, sent me to the vocational rehab guy who said, this thing called the internet has happened while you've been away. So we're going to put you online for classes for retraining. We'll get you a laptop on a table that'll roll right over your daybed so you can just type lying down and take your classes. So I ended up launching my first business from my daybed.
Wow.
I created a copywriting business. I'd been in newspapers for many years and magazines, and so I started writing promotional copy for websites, brochures, business cards, all kinds of things. And my clients never knew about my condition. There was no reason because we could do everything by phone, fax, and email in those days. So I started looking around for learning more and discovered that there was a women's networking group, a spiritually oriented networking group meeting half a mile from where I lived, which was perfect. That was about my driving range. I could drive about half a mile before I had to lie down again. So I called them up and said, I'd love to come to these, but I need to lie down. I've got my own chaise in my trunk. We just need to lay it out. Is that okay with you if I attend your meetings lying down? And they said, of course, come on. So I went and felt pretty terrified because by this time I had not been in the room with more than 3 or 4 people in years and years and years. And here were 80 people. And I was feeling like an idiot lying there on the floor, attending to the meeting, excited to be there, but feeling really foolish until a woman came over to me on break and she said, I don't know what it took for you to get here, but you are obviously the most committed woman in the room. And it is so inspiring to me to see you here. And
Wonderful.
that was a wonderful reframe because I could be an inspiration instead of an idiot, and that felt wonderful. I continued going to these meetings, and one day they had a fellow named Christopher Howard talking about how if you change your mind, you can change your life. He said, okay, I'm going to put you all in a hypnotic trance, and you all being entrepreneurs, you're going to wake up with at least 3 $1 million ideas over the course of the next 7 days. So have a pen and pad by your bed. And that's exactly what I did. I was so excited. I knew I was a good hypnotic subject. So I lie down, and sure enough, about 3:30 in the morning, boom, I wake up out of a sound sleep, and the room is filled with light.
Wow.
And I hear these voices saying to me, Moira, it is time for you to get out of bed and heal the world.
Yep.
And I said, okay.
Yeah.
I had a lot of questions. We talked quite a bit, but you know, I've been a journalist. I had no idea how to heal anybody, but I couldn't not say no. And the point that I want to bring across here is that the pivotal moment for me was not, hello, we need you to get out of bed and heal the world. The pivotal moment was when I said yes.
Yes. Yes.
Because we get invitations from the universe every day. That was mine. It was very loud, hard to ignore, but we get them every day. And the pivotal moment comes when you say, yes, I will follow this guidance.
I want to highlight that. We get these messages from the universe every single day, all day, every day. And you said yes to it. Me too. Yes, this is so great. Okay, so you get the message. Fast forward. So what happened for you that turned you into the healer that you are now, helping women with confidence?
Well, I started by signing up for a training with Christopher Howard, the fellow who spoke. And I took a 3-week course in NLP and hypnotherapy. And on the second day of 21 days, my spine is on fire. I feel quite sure I'm not going to be able to finish the course. But that was the day that Chris talked about how Dr. John Sarno teaches that if you still have pain after you've had proper treatment, you're still hurting after 6 weeks, it's something mental or emotional going on instead of physical. So I go home that day and I decide I'm going to have a little chat with my spine. Spine, I says, what's up with the pain? And I heard this little girl's voice saying, you've worked so hard. You're tired. You've been struggling. Things have been very difficult for you all your life. So we're going to keep you safe in bed.
Powerful.
Yes.
Yes.
So I thought about it for a minute and I said, you know, I want to be safe and protected too. And I'm sick of struggling for sure. But do you think I would struggle less and be even safer if I were strong and healthy? Instead of weak and debilitated? And there was this pause. And then the little voice said, I never thought about that.
Right.
The pain went away that second. It has never come back.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic.
It has never come back. So that's when I saw I must have a gift as an intuitive healer that I had no idea I had until this very moment.
Yes.
So I went back to my training and I've never looked back.
Fantastic.
I've just done all kinds of training since then as a coach, as a healer, in many different modalities. And I go deep, I learn, I drink it in, I make it my own the way we all do. And boy, there is nothing I'd rather be doing.
So connect the dots for us, because you've learned this, and this is great, and I love everything that you're doing, and I agree wholeheartedly. I totally buy into all of this, have done healings for myself and others too, and I know how this works. But somebody listening out there, what made you use that ability to self-heal using the modalities that you learned and developed to move it to focusing on confidence? Because you talk about the 5 keys to confidence. So I want to bridge that gap for people. So can you make that connection for us?
Sure. The way it worked was initially when I was training as a healer, so many people said to me, oh my gosh, you have got to work with people with lower back pain. Look at the results that you've gotten. That would be amazing. And my first and last and continuous thought was, I am so done with the world of back injury.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in that world of surgery and pain and medications and suffering for quite long enough. I appreciate that those are the ways, that's one way my gifts can be used. It doesn't feel like the right way. So in looking for a new focus, what came to me was abundance. Everybody wants abundance. Everybody wants more of the good life, whatever that means to them. And that's wonderful. So I thought, yeah, I want to help people towards something super positive, something super inspiring. So I focused on abundance for a long time. And in working with so many people to release their blocks to abundance, whatever those were, I came to realize that if you don't have confidence, you're never going to be able to create abundance. And if by some miracle it comes to you, you will not be able to keep it. Confidence is really the thing that helps what you want in your life come to you and stay with you for as long as it's meant to be there, because everything changes. And so I thought, okay, let's hone in on confidence, because that unlocks the door to pretty much everything we want in life. It's like confidence is like catnip. It attracts clients, customers, promotions, opportunities, romantic partners, friends, like-minded people. Without confidence, you often just stay where you are. But with confidence, you can go very far.
It's true.
You know how far.
It's true. The underlying belief that most of us have is feelings of unworthiness, don't feel deserving. And that stems from, it shows up as a lack of confidence. So, okay, can you share some or all of the keys with us? Just give us an idea of what that looks like.
What that looks like, this is a very holistic approach to confidence, because what I've found is that confidence is not a one and done decision. You don't say to yourself one day, I'm going to believe in myself now and never have to think about it again. Yeah. I wish it worked that way, but it doesn't. And since it doesn't, I'm here to help. So because it's complex, because human beings are complex. We live in multiple dimensions.
Yes.
There are so many, far more than 5. But I thought that to be starting with, it would be good to start in with 5 key elements, which is the mind, the heart, the body, the spirit, and serving something greater than yourself. So I teach people how to master their mind, how to honor their heart, because it's so important to honor our emotions instead of suppress them or let them carry us off in a tidal wave. I show people how to have a respectful relationship with their body. And that's on 2 levels, because body image can be such a vexed issue for so many women. But it's important to realize that every time you think to yourself, oh my God, I hate my thighs, or something like that, that is like piercing your heart with an arrow. Your body has its own consciousness. That is what it makes it breathe and blink and beat your heart.
Right.
Your body really has a mind of its own, a consciousness of its own. So when you attack it, it stops trusting you, which makes it almost impossible for you to trust yourself in any significant way.
Mm-hmm.
The other element of body, respect with the body, is we carry in our DNA all of the memories, the thoughts, the feelings, the beliefs, the emotions, the traumas of all of our ancestors. They're tattooed on our DNA. To me, it's like the biological equivalent of eternal life. And so there you could come from a long line of people who feel terribly unworthy, who feel like I'm a mistake, who feel like I shouldn't have been born, or it would be so much better if I weren't here. And sometimes those genes dominate us. And so even if you have a good baseline level of confidence yourself, your ancestral influences, your genetic predisposition towards self-doubt may make it impossible for you to be able to develop confidence that stays with you on good days and bad.
Very true. I agree with that.
Thank
there's
you.
no separation. So of course we're carrying that ancestral energy with us as well. Okay, so
Absolutely.
that's all right. So that's the body. Okay, what's
Body.
fourth?
Four is the spirit, and that is really cherishing your spirit. And I see so many women doing everything they can to inspire and uplift others and doing very little that inspires and uplifts themselves. So there's a very strong element of self-care in attending to your spirit. And whether you require a facial or a margarita or a good read on the beach or taking a moment to just meditate each day and center in with yourself, connect with yourself, and realize, here I am. I am here. Like you say, I have today. I have today. Today has me. Let's be here in the present moment. And that's how we remember who we really are. One of the incredible blessings that came out of the back injury when I found myself unable to move was realizing, oh, I'm not my body. I'm wearing my body. I am not my body. And that was a realization whose significance is still percolating through me to this day as I understand that more deeply. When you realize you're not your body, what are you? You are your spirit, what dwells within the body. And that deserves to be honored, acknowledged, consulted when you make your plans, and to create a feeling of wholeness that is the very foundation of confidence.
It's beautiful. That is beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, and the fifth key?
The fifth key is serving something greater than yourself. Now, I had a call to service that was so large, that ignited my spirit so completely that doing anything else was just inconceivable. But that's just me. We all have something that we consider greater than ourselves. It could be humanity. It could be our higher self. It could be the God of your understanding. It could be science with a capital S. It could be creativity with a capital C. It could be the quantum field if you are of a scientific turn of mind. But whatever you call it, when you connect with something greater than yourself, it infuses meaning and significance into all that you do, which makes it fulfilling on a level that satisfying mere selfish desires can never do.
It's so true. It feels so good. It feels so good. I believe we all have that. And you got your calling, and you're doing this beautiful work in the world, serving it so many in such a beautiful way. Wow. That's fantastic. So what, I mean, I know what the challenge was back then, but I like to keep it in the today and in the now. And what for you now, today, is your biggest challenge? If you have one, what would that be?
This will sound strange, but I still have a challenge around visibility. I've gotten to the point where I feel comfortable with being visible with you, visible with people in a room, but visibility on a larger scale is honestly still a little terrifying for me.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't even think about doing it if my cause were not so compelling to my soul. I understand the importance of visibility in terms of being able to spread a message of love and hope, of compassion and joy, of generosity, forgiveness, peace, understanding, all the blessings in the world. I am a voice for that. And that is how I serve. And I love doing it. And I know that the more people can hear me, perhaps can see me, the more I will be able to carry out that mission of doing my part in healing the world. I've always understood I could never do it alone. That was not my job. So what I love doing, what I love focusing on, is all of the other women who are light workers, who are here to do something in the world, to contribute in some way, whether it's raising wonderful children, to starting an information empire, anything that their heart desires, becoming the next Madonna or Beyonce. But because it all brings light into the world, and I'm excited about supporting women and getting past the self-doubt I struggled with myself. I wasn't born confident, far from it. So I know that if I can develop confidence, so can you, so can you, the listener, the viewer right now. If I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah, what I love about that, very honest vulnerable answer you just gave is you have learned all of this. You are doing this work. You are putting yourself out there. You feel and know that you want to be doing it on a greater level, and yet there's a little bit of that fear still and self-doubt that you just said that's holding you back. So you are a practitioner and a preacher of confidence and still a student of life when it comes to confidence, which is what I think. I love that so much because we're still all evolving, learning, growing, expanding every day. And I feel that about myself too. I teach at I Have Today about intentional living and really living in the present moment and mindset manifestations. We have some synergy here, but I'm still a student of this every day. And I have to practice what I preach every single day. And I think that's such a powerful takeaway for the audience to hear, that we're never done. We're never done. So we're always still working on that and progressing and learning more. And that's so, just touched my heart so much that you said that. Thank you for that, being so candid and honest about that. So I'm with you, sister. I hear you. So to that note, I ask all my guests, how do you live the I Have Today way, which is intentionally in the present moment? What is that for you?
It's very simple. I take a moment, at least a moment each day, and get quiet and ask guidance, ask God, what is mine to do today? Help me to know it. Help me to do it.
Ooh.
Thank you.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. So you're creating the awareness, you're setting the intention, and you're asking for the guidance and the support. Love it. Love everything about that. So wonderful. So, well, how can the audience find out more about you? And just so everyone knows, again, her book is called, hang on, let me get the right name of it. I don't want to screw it up. Love Your Way to Success, 5 Keys to Confidence for Creative Women Entrepreneurs. We're going to have a link for the book here in the description for the show on YouTube, and then on all the podcasting platforms as well as our at dianeforster.com on the podcast page. So you'll be able to get it. We'll make it super easy for you guys to get it. And then how can people learn more about you?
You can visit moirashepard.com. That's MoiraShepard.com. And the title of my forthcoming podcast, when that comes out, is Show of Confidence with Moira Shepard.
Yes. So let's keep our eyes and ears out for that, Show of Confidence. Well, it's been a true pleasure having you on the show. Is there any final tip or advice you'd like to share?
I'd like to encourage everyone to ask for help. None of us are alone. We are all surrounded by guides, guardians, angels, ascended masters, a whole big God squad. And many of them are unemployed angels just waiting around for you to ask them for help. So go ahead and ask. Whenever I do that, they say, ask for more, ask for more. You never ask for enough, ask for more. So it's okay to ask. It's important to recognize that asking for help is a sign of strength rather than weakness. It takes a great deal of courage to ask for help, and your angels will love you and help you just the same. So make an angel's day. Ask for help.
Oh, beautiful. I love that. And you're right. You're right. I once heard I was watching something, and they said, do you have any idea how bored the angels are waiting for us to ask for help? And God, so you said it beautifully. And what'd you call it? Your God squad?
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Again, our theme for the show this week was Learn the Keys to Confidence, and the intention statement was, I have today to live in my power with confidence. This is Diane Forster. If you want to, I'm going to ask you please to subscribe to my show, both on YouTube, my YouTube channel, and the podcast, I Have Today with Diane Forster, and follow us on social media at Diane Forster Official, and we'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.